a mic check. 1 2 1 2. How is everybody doing? What's going on with all the purebloods out there? With everybody. Thank you, E-Feds, Meat Puppet, everybody on the 5x5s. Much love to everybody across all the platforms out there listening. Thank you, J Bear, Gora, Spineshank, Steve, Hoodie Ross. Thank you, Kev Bar, Tooch, everybody out there that shares the stream. It's appreciated to the fullest. More than you know. Thank you, David, Mass, KY, everybody out there. Shalom. Much love. Hope all is good. Yes, and it's appreciated if you do hit the thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed first and foremost, and hit that bell notification if you haven't, because if you don't, you're just simply not going to get notified for all my stuff. So it's like, why follow someone if you're not going to get alerted for everything that they're putting out there? Which, to have a subscribe button and then a bell is kind of a trick, because most people think when they subscribe that they're just going to get all the alerts, but that's not how it works. Anyhow, again, much love. Good evening. I've got to start off here with, we're going to go into some emergency coverage on tornadoes here real quick, because we've got an out-of-nowhere situation that has sprung up. So go ahead and bring it up here full scale. Back out here first. A lot of these tornado warnings that I'm covering right here are around Baltimore. We got Tooge in the house, in a basement, in a safe spot. But he's been getting these warnings, I think he said since about 6 o'clock. And they've been going off. Let me get a refresh here. Okay, we've got right outside your area there, Tooch, we've got a radar-indicated tornado. It looks like we may have 2 more tornado warnings here. Hold on a second. We've got 5 in total. Let's see here. We've got one in Knox, Ohio. It's expiring in 8 minutes. We've got another one in Delaware, Ohio, in 8 minutes as well. In the one outside of Knox, it did have 3/4 inch hail. I'll zoom in on that area here in a second to see if we got any signatures. Baltimore, you can see right here. It's radar indicated. It expires 23 minutes. They are seeing 3/4 inch size hail. Same thing with Marion, Ohio. That one expires in 23 minutes. And then Hartford, Maryland, in 23 minutes. So we've got 5 tornado warnings here popping off. There may be more than that, actually, if I back all the way out here. Looks like the one that was down in Alabama is just a storm at this point. I'm going to go in here. It's outside of Mount Vernon. Go ahead and get this going. J Bear, thank you for the coffee. And we're going to look here to see if we see a signature on this. I think I got one J Bear, but not the rest. So I got part of it, but not all of it. So yeah, still an incomplete. So right here, right past Brandon, you can see this expires in 6 minutes. Tornado warning in effect there. If you guys are on the ground there, let me know. If you're around any of these areas, let us know in the chat. At me in the chat so I see it. Texas Ross is outside of Baltimore. Okay, keep us updated and stay safe. Tuge as well, right there in the area. I'm going to go back to that here in just a second. But this is around the Mount Vernon, Ohio area, south of it. Tornado warning. And north of Hunt, going toward Gambier. Those are the areas that I would watch right now. Pipesville. And again, we've got the storm system right behind it. Looks like this is it's possible it could spin up more coming into this region here. So heads up for folks in this region. I'm gonna go back here to Baltimore. It looks like it's where we got a majority of these popping off. Did you guys hear that? All right, so I believe that was a warning here, a tornado warning. It was letting us know that we've got a live one right now. So 5 warnings here real quick. Zoom in here. It looks like this storm just passed through the heart of Baltimore. Looks like the Edgewood area that's getting hit with storms right now, that this tornado warned cell is headed your way, but it looks like there's already a warning in place there. So this warning extends all the way out, headed toward White Crystal Beach. This is not an area that's used to seeing tornadoes like this. The outlook for today, anyway, for tornadoes had only called for a 2% chance of tornadic activity like this. And yet we've seen them spin up here this evening in Alabama, across Ohio, and several up here in the Maryland region. Earlier, they were tracking heavily through Gaithersburg, and you could see debris in the signatures. And it looks like a lot of this up here moving toward Chesapeake City, Delaware City. These are areas that I'd watch out for. Bel Air. We now have 6 tornado warnings. See what this newest one here is. So for Knox, Ohio, it continues for another hour and 2 minutes. They've extended that one. So the one in Ohio extended. The one in Hartford, Maryland, Kent, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. It expires in 17 minutes. That is a tornado that has been observed. So not just radar indicated, but observed on the ground, causing damage. Also have, man, the sky's looking definitely dark there around I-695. Of course, it is dark there by now, but you're not going to be able to see much as some of the cams here on the highways. So I wanted to give a heads up before we continued here. If anyone is in the path of this up in this area, man, be aware. At least a couple destructive tornadoes coming out of this. It looks like it's all heading up toward Wilmington, Delaware City, Marcus Hook, those regions. So stop that. If you guys are you're hearing anything, or if you're under some kind of warning, or you've witnessed anything, let us know in the chat. Stay safe out there, first and foremost. And if you got anything you want to send to me, dabu7 at yahoo.com is the email. You can tag me on Twitter or X and at me there in the chat. Do my best to catch them. Be honest though, I'm mostly, when I'm reading through stories off the one monitor and I got to glance over at the other and check things, I can only really watch one chat. And that is the YouTube chat. I bounce over and watch the live chat as well. Those are the two I try to keep an eye on. All right, we have a 25% chance of flares today. And this is all coming from the same sunspot that gave us all that activity that sparked the auroras back on May 10th. That was AR 3664. It is now AR 3697. And it still poses a bit of a threat. It has an active region. It has that beta, gamma, delta magnetic field. And that's what harbors the energy for X-class explosions. So 25% chance. We've seen lower percentage chances and seen a lot of X flares before. So just know it's kind of Earth facing here. If it does let loose with an X flare, we could see a show again, or at least be in the line of fire. And again, the sun just littered with sunspots right now. It's just one of the many that we can see here right now on our side. Not much else going on here in terms of close range objects. We did have one coming closer than the moon yesterday. If you guys see any fireballs out there, also let me know. Keep track of all that. And I wanted to make mention that China, in their rover that was on the back side of the moon, allegedly touched down. It scooped up some stuff and then it flew off. And I just want to show you what they tried to show everybody real quick. Watch when this thing blasts off. I find this a bit comical. Okay. Where's all the stars in the background? There's not a single one. Boom! This thing takes off. Really? I don't know what it did to whatever's going on here, but so it left the camera behind, and they got all that footage. Again, a lot of questions here with what's really going on. Of course, we're lied to a ton about the moon and all this other stuff. But that's what China's claiming right now, that they're on the far side of the moon. They're landing rovers. They're scooping up moon dust, as you just seen right there, and they're blasting off to go back into orbit to come back to Earth with the samples. So, that's what they're doing. Again, I can't wait to get the right telescope set up because when we do, we can lock onto one of these launches that are going to the moon as it leaves Cape Canaveral, gets up in the atmosphere, and we can follow it all the way to the moon. We can kill all this garbage. Like if it disappears, bounces off the firmament, and just any of this crap, we're going to see it. You should be able to watch it all the way to it landing. Especially on a full moon event. Dude, I don't know, maybe even observing it lighting up when it's landing on a darker, if it's like a new moon, maybe better in certain ways. I don't know. But we need to do it. Put a lot of things to rest. There's a couple experiments out here we could really do to prove one way or another. Same thing with getting a balloon all the way up into subspace with a ton of cameras on it, including live ones. Wonder what we'll see. We don't know until we do it, but I guarantee you, we catch some very interesting stuff. All right, on out to Hawaii. Kilauea volcano erupting in an area that was formerly dormant. It's been dormant since 1974. You can see here on this image in the southwestern rift here. There's fissures that are opening up. This began on the 3rd, a couple days ago. So everything's ripping apart. It is a massive volcano here. But some areas see more activity than others. And this is not seen activity in a long time. So we don't know what's going to come from this. We'll just have to sit back and see. Here in the past few years, we've seen some events coming out of Hawaii where it has just let off with swarms and eruptions. Some nice sized earthquakes and decent lava flows. So, I mean, it comes with territory, with Hawaii. That's how it was created to begin with, but you never know. There could be some big eruptions and magma flows here. You just never know what they're going to do. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's go over here real quick to the earthquake maps. Let's zoom in on Hawaii first. You know what? I don't know if I X that out. Let me go ahead and X this. All right. Here we go. You can see here, south of Pahala, the Hawaii Belt Road, a little bit of action, but up here, right there, Hawaii National Park. You can see the top now. Now that I do that, you can see the mouth of the caldera there. And you can see the swarming going on around it. So, some of these areas, as they said, it's starting to rip apart. We just have to see what happens. That's what's going on there in Hawaii. Let's look here real quick at Southern Cali in the Gulf here, California, 4.3. Got some swarming here south of the Salton Sea. This is the area you got to watch. 4.6, 4.7. Nice swarm going on here. If ever this area gets inundated with flood water and it gets super flooded out from the Salton Sea, it doesn't take much to go from that spot right on down into this basin. And when it does that, it washes everything out there and it puts that water weight on this area. They say this is what triggered the San Andreas in the past. Let's keep an eye out for it. Anytime I start to see swarming anywhere around that Salton Sea, Really, it's all the major activity right now, except for this one out here in the mid-Atlantic. And the crazy swarming continues around New Zealand. But nothing significant. Still watching Alaska and back down here off this pinch point. As before, there's the areas that can generate some quake activity. They could do some damage. Check back in if we see anything. Check this one out. I wanted to throw this in the lineup here because you never know what you're going to find out there. Well, you would have to be out there looking to find something, I guess, first and foremost. And it depends on how you're looking, where you're looking, what you're looking for. But if you've ever heard of magnet fishing, this has become a popular thing where people are going out with their fishing poles instead of hooks and catching fish. They're putting magnets on with super strong line, and they're latching onto things. And you just never know what you're going to pull out of the water. And here's a perfect example. A Queens couple went to a lake in Corona Park in New York, and they pulled up a metal safe with approximately $100,000 in it. So, this is the biggest catch they've ever made in terms of magnet fishing. But, yeah, it's just what people do. They go out there and they do things like this. Maybe it was stolen. You never know. But they said it was 2 stacks of hundreds, big stacks. Obviously soaking wet and pretty destroyed. He said, sadly, however, it looked like the money was ruined by the water. But, I mean, it is paper. We're not talking gold coins here. But, still, just never know what you're going to find out there. Now, I would say take that concept with a big magnet around an area where a shipwreck was. There's an idea. I know some places are protected, but some places are also kept secret and are fair game out there. Just saying. Oh, yeah, it always is. Let's flow over there, JV. Jay from the Ville. All right. I wanted to mention this one too, and I wanted to mention because I believe it is the weaponization of this animal at the top that makes it the number one. And it's the 10 deadliest animals to humans in the world. And the number one is mosquitoes. And it's because it's a flying syringe. And it dwarfs everything else. And I can see that because it's weaponized. It is an animal that can literally be weaponized big time. And look where it sits, the most deadly, around the whole planet. Behind it is other humans. Can you believe that? Then snakes, then dogs, then bugs, scorpions, crocodiles, elephants, hippos, and then lions. Bears didn't even make the list. Mosquitoes. Just saying, man, when it comes to deadly animals out there, this is ranked number one. So think about that. Real deal. Pretty crazy. Got a heads up here real quick on cucumbers. They're saying that cucumbers shipped to 14 different states have been recalled over possible salmonella contamination. These are from Fresh Start Produce Sales out of Delray, Florida. It's recalling cucumbers that were shipped from May 17th through the 21st. So if you bought any in that time frame and you were in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Maryland, North Carolina, Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia, you should probably look into it. And a warning, which is pretty ridiculous here. Anytime I see these warnings, there has to be another warning attached to it. Because you have the NSA, which is a massive spy agency, issuing this urgent warning. And I'm just like, man, we've seen this so many times before. Sometimes it's a trick. Oh, so South Bay and San Jose on the Hayward Fault has been active this past week. Thank you for that information there, Lowrider. Thank you for the coffees and the support. For checking in, my brother. Much love. Yeah, Bill Gates did release all those mosquitoes. South Florida, en masse. They let him. It's crazy. Anyhow, yeah, that's just a whole nother animal there. Again, thank you for the coffees, Lowrider. Appreciate it to the fullest. Much love, Lone Warrior. Make sure that you guys are following me on X. Some of the pictures and the memes that I post over there with our links. You're only gonna find them over there. You're gonna find them in other places. That's where the dank ones are. So the spy agency, the NSA, is advising people with Android and iPhones to listen up because, first off, when they tell you to go download the newest updates and all that, a lot of times that's their latest updates, their back doors into your device. It just is. And this is how they put patches out there and all types of other stuff, yes. But this is how they get in the first place, if they're not already in a device. So be very careful when you go out there and you update. If you got a device that's clean and you do one of these updates, they're in. Just saying. And, they're trying to issue a warning to people that you're being spied on. And isn't it ironic that it's the NSA that's saying this? I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, by you, in exactly what I just said. Anyhow, I'm going to keep it pushing. We have now the Dollar Tree, which is like a staple business in this country. It is considering the potential sale of its Family Dollar chain because everything's going down the tubes. They say dismal sales, major factor here. I mean, every week I'm reporting on a major chain that has been around forever in this country collapsing. Dude, it's sad. Our country's falling apart right in front of us. And it's like everyone just sitting back watching. I think Kev Bar last week was checking in, saying things about his local area. I've had others, all kinds of people from all kinds of different areas, talking about the same thing in their neck of the woods. The businesses, mom and pop places, and all this getting ran out, getting shut down. KY Mountain and House. It's ridiculous, man. It's been the destruction of our country. You may not like Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, and I've talked about their products and the diabetes factory and all this stuff before, but it's besides the point. It's just the fact that every single thing is getting shut down. These are no jobs, no nothing here in the future. During the Great Depression, they used to call these places, all these towns that were going into depression, Hoovervilles, because of the president at the time. Who's Hoover? He had these Hoovervilles all over America. Now, these shanty towns are called Bidenvilles. And that's just where it's going. Because he has wrecked his administration, not just him, but the establishment under this administration has just dismantled this whole place. And it's no secret, people are living out of cars, out of vans, RVs. I've looked at some of these communities of people. They're good people that have been ran out of their homes, lost jobs. It all started with these lockdowns and everything else. It's escalated to this. And this administration seems like they are quicker to help illegals before they are veterans or homeless in this country. We're on our own. We are on our own at this point on. I'm telling you, I already said it before, we've done crossed the Rubicon. There's no turning back now. Jacob says Ozark's full of stolen RVs. Hey, long as you got a place to go and you got a plan, that's what counts. That's what we've been talking about all these years, man. And know some people. Hopefully you've got one in the group, someone that's out there somewhere in the Ozarks, close to it, in the mountains, something like it, in the Appalachia. You can get away from everything. I tell you what, out here, it's a different animal. I was looking at this thing that was showing the places you should go to and not go to across the country. It had all these maps, and it showed some of the parts of my state as being on the poor end. And I got to thinking of it, and it was their reason not to come here. And one of the reasons, it was one of the only pitfalls you could find. And I was like, well, hold on, let me think about that. Like, it'd be different if this was like, downtown, Cincinnati or LA or New York or something, where it's like got a lot of theft and it's the hood and it's like that. Like where I'm at is the mountains, and like all my neighbors grow their own food. They may be poor and stuff, but they're not out stealing copper. They're not out doing all this stupid stuff. No, they're growing their own gardens, living off the land, keeping to themselves. They got some chickens and this and that. They got a well. And that's just about how everybody has learned to live. Not going and robbing everyone else. Learn to have to survive. Or they already know how to get through a tough time. I'll never forget that dude changed my tire here recently. He said that to me. He's like, we know how to survive here. You ain't going to see that dumb crap here. He goes, we'll stomp it out quick. And that ain't even me saying it. That's a dude changing my tire. These good old boys in these mountains, man, they don't play. And, there's farmers markets all around here. When you're out driving, going down the back road, you'll see gardens everywhere. You may hit a chicken on the road because they're everywhere. You'll see farmers markets set up. People trading, bartering, selling, and all that. The way that it should be. It's like they're already doing it around here, and I'm thankful for that. And they ain't having none of that other crap. But places that are used to like high-end living and all this stuff, I guess they're in for a shock. If you're used to living a certain way. You have to have this, have to have that. From the store especially. Because that's wherein lies a lot of the problem. And a lot of the fights and a lot of the... Everything is going to break out is around those places. If you can avoid them, you're better off. Of course, everybody, even around here, we got to go to the store, get supplies. But you might want to start thinking about, how you're going to get by without certain things. I feel that's where we're going. I don't have to get all the way to the China and the Russia part here later to say, when we get to World War III and this thing pops off, it's over. Well, it will be. Soon as anything pops off here, any day, nuclear especially, or with China and Taiwan, everything that we buy is going to go through the roof. I would get ready, man. We've never been this close to this kind of escalation ever in history on these two type of fronts with these two big dogs. Yeah, we've been in proxy battles and this and that, but nothing this direct, this out in the open, and them two buddied up, ready to smash us, which is garbage. We've been sold out. Anything happens, history books may say, oh yeah, China and Russia, they all did it. Yeah, who's going to say any different? It's the victor that always writes the stories in the books. They shut the lights out here. They'll cripple this country. They'll submit it. They don't have to come in and take it over. They will cripple it so bad that it will suffer so bad it will struggle just to maintain. It'll take a long time to try to even recover. Now, look at the UK. UK was dominant. Just look back at history. They were the boss hog. Their currency was the top-notch currency. What happened? They got derailed. They got dismantled. Their currency got knocked off the top perch. We're about to go through all that. But did it die completely? No, it did not. Did the UK die and fade away? No, it did not. Its currency lives on to this day. Strong or weak, fiat and fake or whatever. All the currencies. The one thing we got right now with currencies, you can hold it in your hand. And even though it is printed monopoly money, you can trade it and you have privacy. That's where we're at right now in the conversation. Okay, because that's what counts. You go one step further into the digital realm, privacy, all that's gone out the window. There will be no turning back. We're one crisis away from this happening and being implemented. And I don't think there's going to be much anyone's going to be able to stop it. I believe one day here soon we're going to wake up to a crisis. A banking crisis. They just told us $517 billion in banks are ready to go down. 63 different banks ready to go down. FDIC said this. Lemmings out there don't pay no attention. In one ear, out the other. They're signaling a collapse is about to happen. What happens when a collapse goes down? You cannot get any money out of a bank because the bank is insolvent. You can't get none out of an ATM. Doors are locked. Can't get into a bank. It's closed down. You ain't seen nothing yet. When you get dozens and dozens to start to go, it's over. And the FDIC just warned about this. 63 of them on the chopping block. When this happens and you cannot get money out, I'm telling you, they're going to milk it out. This is the trick. Remember it. This is the trick right here. Said it before. They're going to give everybody these wallets. Matter of fact, all your banks already got them. They already got the wallets. You don't even know how to realize it. They all got the wallets already. And when you can't get cash out, they're going to tell you, you take this CBDC and use it. It'll be accepted everywhere. If someone don't want to accept it, you tell us, you rat them out, snitch them out, and we'll go after them. We're going to give you these CBDCs to use since you can't get the cash out. After a week or two goes by and no one can get their money out, just a couple days is going to cause mass panic. Mass panic. They'll milk it out. They're going to try to get everybody in the country on the CBDC. They may do this for a month, 2 months. And then once it's full scale rolled out, they'll call back in all the dollars out there. They'll say they'll make them illegal. They'll make them illegal. They'll have to do it right then. They will. They'll have to do it right then. All this is going to go back to back to back. This is what's about to happen. This is it. You watch. And they would sprinkle in a cyber attack or two to blame it on or whatever. I don't know. But this is the route that it goes down. They need a crisis to implement a CBDC. How else are you going to do it? Blowing things up doesn't cut it. It has to attack the economy specifically, directly. It has to be the financial 9/11. to kill the dollar, to bring it all down, to change it all, to bring us to our knees. It has to. It has to be that. And that is the easiest way without firing a shot. All you got to do, you just wake up tomorrow morning and they make an announcement. All of a sudden, you can't get money out anywhere. Dude, it's so easy for them to do. Think about it. It's so easy. So easy to do. Once they start it, I mean, who can stop it? What is everyone around you going to do? They're going to go and get that CBDC. They're going to be telling you that you should. You should have been spending all this time educating them on the evils of it. That's why we do this, man. Some people are going to be in such bad shape, they're not going to care. A week without paying your bills, rent, mortgage, all this stuff, it's going to be too much. Just a week, a couple weeks, a month. All right? And in the process, you know what's going to happen? Somewhere in the midst, let me think about this. How can they steal your 401k, too? Oh, yeah. Because you can't get in and access nothing. So in the meantime, everything dumps out. You know what that means when everything dumps out? You're losing your money. That's meaning the big dogs are cashing out, they're taking it. While you can't get in and get your money. While you could do nothing. That's what's about to happen to everyone. You mark my words. Stick a fork in it. Best not have nothing in them banks, boys and girls. Nothing. If you was me. Not financial advice, I'm telling you. The rug pull's about to happen. And I just told you what it's going to be. Okay? Sprinkle in a little cyber attack here or there and point the finger, because that gives them an excuse to blame someone there. Point a finger somewhere else. If not, they just told you the banks are going to crumble. Oh, who are you going to go after? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? No one's going to be able to do nothing. I'm not even talking a lights out situation, for crying out loud. I'm not talking now. I'm not talking to EMP. I'm not talking none of that. I'm talking a simple, you wake up Monday morning, next week, and it all begins. Bank failure, or this and that. People just don't even see it. First couple days go by just like last time. Several banks fail. Really doesn't affect no one. They really don't care. Just keep on pushing. But then all of a sudden the dominoes start to fall. Before they know it, everything gets locked up. I mean, what do you think's about to happen with 63 banks about to fold? Dude. Yeah. In the meantime, gotta keep it pushing here. And thank you, Free Energy, for the donation there. Appreciate it to the fullest. Hoodie Ross, Charity, much love. Look at this. Porsche, Mercedes, Stellantis. They're all losing big on the EV scam. Big time. I told you Ford. All of them. They're all losing. Big time. It shouldn't be rammed down your throat. It should be a free choice. Oh, it's so crazy. Look down, Free Energy. Thank you. Thank you. This is just not going to work. So here's 3 reasons. There's something sinister with this push for EV. I thought this was a good article. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the points it goes after here. Number 1, EVs are not green at all. Anyone that's got a bit of a brain and takes a second to actually think about the situation. EVs are made from rare earth minerals. They have to be drilled and mined and all that, and that's not done with the solar panel stuff. Hey, man, lead. Thank you for the 10 coffees, man. Brother, and thank you, Colleen. Yeah, I believe so, Colleen, unfortunately. But lead, man, thank you for that. Thank you for the coffees and the support there. Appreciate it to the fullest. Um, as you can see, I told you, any of them streams that I've been missing and I've been busy, you see what I've been doing. So EVs are not green. That's a lie. It takes gas-powered trucks and drills, diesel, like burning hardcore machinery, not some solar-powered junk out in the middle of nowhere trying to mine. No, that's not how they do it. It takes gas and lots of it and of these other things to get this. It's crazy. It's so crazy how they brainwash people. It's not green at all. It's insane what they think. But EVs can't compete, neither, number two here, without government support. They can't do it. The whole thing is being propped up by the government and them forcing it down every avenue. And even then, they can barely compete with gasoline vehicles. But they're threatening everyone, According to J.D. Power, a consumer research firm, the average EV still costs at least 21% more than the average gasoline vehicle. I mean, come on. In other words, it says the EV market is a giant mirage, artificially propped up by the extensive government intervention. And number three, it's all about controlling you. EVs are massive spying machines. They collect an unimaginable amount of data on you, which the government can access right now in a blink of an eye. Analysts estimate that cars generate about 25 gigabytes of data every hour. Every hour. Wow, man. I mean, just imagine what they can do with all that. I mean, every little move you make. Ride up to the park. Just shut the car off, sit there and watch the sunset. But the cars tracked you and snitched you out every bit of the way. Everything that you're doing. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, there is no anonymity. There is no hiding, no privacy when they get this. When they get CBDCs and EVs and all this full scale and overseen by AI, it's over. It's over. It is. If you're going to live under that type of rule, that's like beast. The beast system right there, full scale. So all this goes hand in hand with 15-minute cities, carbon credits, CBDCs, digital IDs, phasing out hydrocarbons, meat, the passports, the whole credit system thing, continued war on farmers. It's all part of the agenda we've talked about before out of the World Economic Forum called the Great Reset. The problem is it hasn't happened yet. It has not happened yet. None of that can even go into motion until you wake up one day and you can't get your money. That's it. That's what it is. Or nukes flying. Take your pick. But I'm going to go with they get so much more out of this move. They have to do it. They milk everybody out of it. They force your hand when you cannot get cash for a month and the only thing being offered is CBDCs. I'm telling you right now, it's the move. If you're an evil minion sitting here plotting, like that's the move to get them. To catch the enemy, you have to think like the enemy. That's how any good investigator has to operate. Do you understand? In the meantime, the S&P hits an all-time high, basically riding off NVIDIA. So people are suffering out here in Bidenvilles. But yet, the economy, they try to say, is roaring based on a few of their big pumps, their big companies. your 401k. I would take a long, good look at it, and I would not forget what I said about if you want to see it here in the future, I would cash out. I'd do some things. If I missed something over there in that super chat, I apologize. I seen something just float by. Nvidia ripping. All right. Just the other day, I was telling you how this roaring kitty pumped GameStop. Well, check it out. This isn't crypto, so to speak, when you're talking about the stock market. It's one thing to be pumping the cryptos, but when you jump over here to the markets, guess what? You catch the attention of the big dogs. And that's exactly what happened here for Mr. Gill, Keith Gill, that has been doing this and has millions wrapped up in this. So an investigation has been launched. And also, E-Trade is saying that they may ban him now. They're debating it, though, because they don't want to feel the wrath of all of his trolls, all of his meme warriors, and anyone that follows him, for unrighteously kicking him out, which they would have to let him cash out or move his money. But these are pump and dumps. It's just that simple. And how do they not get him for a pump and dump? Because that's exactly what it is. The only thing here is he's picked stocks. Okay, let me explain this to you, what he's done here and why this is so popular in a frenzy here. Okay? The game's stacked against us. It always is. So you get corrupt guys out here, they got a lot of money, that figure out things like what I'm about to tell you. The average Joe doesn't know what I'm about to tell you. It doesn't realize what's about to happen or what happens daily. They go in and they find failing places that are falling apart. Like Red Lobster, I've reported on, selling all of its businesses. Like GameStop, that was falling apart. And what they do is they set shorts on it. A lot of people don't realize what this is. You may hear, but it's betting that you're going to make money when it goes down. Okay? Which a lot of people are not hip to. But you can do this. You can even leverage, borrow money, and do this. But here's where the criminal aspect comes in and what they've been doing the whole time. They find people, or they get themselves into the company somehow. They buy in, they work their way in, and they work to destroy the company. And when you get a couple of people that are in on this, it helps accelerate it. And what they've done, what a lot of these big dogs have done this whole time, is steal everyone's money by doing this. By, say you might have heard one of these stupid pundits say, I'm investing in GameStop because I think it's going to take off and all this and blah, blah, blah. Well, they're setting the bait. All these people out there are going to go out and try to invest in it. But these guys know better. They're shorting it. They're going to short it from there. They set the short, and what they do is they go in and they, by design, start to destroy the company. They bring it down. Any way that you can imagine. There's all kinds of different ways. And when they do this dumps out and brings down the value. All you got to do is run negative headlines and people will start dumping. That's it. And when this happens, they start making money hand over fist. Do you see how it works? Do you see how it works? This is what they've been doing, hollowing out, taking people's money, hollowing out all these stocks, one by one by one. Oh, which one we gonna jump to next? Which one we gonna jump to? Keith Gill caught on to it. They said, oh, no, you don't. I'm gonna smoke that ass. We're gonna march and call you. What's that mean? That means if someone figures this out and can counter it, when you're dumping it down really low, trying to bury this, and you're trying to make all this money, shorting it, what they do is they come in with a huge team, a monster team, and they buy this thing up and they pump it. They run it as high as they can. They run that price up aside, and what this does is it liquidates the shorts. It calls them. These dudes lose their ass. They lose their money when they do this. They get checked finally. But what it does is it creates a massive pump in the game. Do you see? And of course, he's going to cash out to get his money's worth. He's going to step into a USD or a stablecoin. He's going to do something. He's going to make a move to where he's not going to lose money. He's going to profit off this move, obviously. So once he sells and the dump begins, it's over. It's all downhill from there. That's why you only hear about this happening like once a year. You heard about it like last year or year before, because from here on out, they let this dump out for the whole next year. He's gotten away with this, checking them a couple times, and he's making now, they're saying he's got over 117 million. They want that. They want a piece of it. And they're showing openly they are scared of his following. The power is in your numbers. The power is in the people. And when you stick together and when you flex, you can get things done. You sure can. We've seen it before. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy here. They're openly admitting that they're kind of afraid. But if they do this and they don't do anything to him, it's going to embolden other people to start doing it. Not financial advice. Yeah. Not saying to go out and buy anything. But I'll tell you how they do and how the whole thing works. It's rigged. So, yeah. If you were ever wondering, there's all kinds of shams going down out there, man. I remember all over this past year or so, I kept seeing these commercials with this dude in a business suit stepping up for the Epic Times, promoting it. And I don't know, man. Every time I saw him, I was like, dude, who are you? Like, you just, the vibe was like, I didn't feel it, man. I felt something shady about it. I just did. I did. And now we find out that dude, and all the cats around him are connected all the way up to the CFO of money laundering. And they're going after the chief financial officer himself, saying that he and the team around him, Bill Guan, laundered $67 million in funds, and they've now been indicted by a federal grand jury. This is the Epic Times that puts out news. You see, it says the charges do not relate to the media company's news gathering activities. So they're trying to save some face there and make sure it didn't damage their reputation as a news gathering activity place. I don't even know, man. I came across some of the stories here and there in the past, but once they jumped behind this paywall and all that, and I seen that dude, I was like, well, there you go. Wonder where all that paywall money was going. Laundering. That's what they're saying now. Can you imagine when all the people that were like tied in and supporting Epic Times are now going to get pulled into their money being used as laundering money? Like, oh, wow. Wow. It was such a setup. Everything is, man. Gotta watch it all. Looky here. Back when I was in the trading, the number one place to trade outside of like Coinbase to get in and get started was Binance. One of the best places. That, KuCoin, a couple other places we mess around with. But they were out of the country. Well, I told you, they went after the main dude, and they got him. Binance founder, CZ, and he has a 4-month prison sentence that he's serving in California. It's part of a settlement with the DOJ. He is the richest person to ever do time in a U.S. federal facility. Can you believe that? Because he's a multi-billionaire. All the money, everything he made, so he had to cough up some money and all that, and now do 4 months in prison, ultimately in the end. But he's going to walk away from this loaded done did his time. They can't come back after him. Like, whoa. Like, he talk about anyone around him that got through this with millions and never faced any time, they really made out. But seeming he was the top target and top dog, of course. But this is ultimately where they want everyone. You see what happened to the most powerful dude in crypto out there, the most powerful exchange, a billionaire. He winds up behind bars. What does that say for every other person out there in crypto? Miss Moke. Hey, much love. I appreciate that. Thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest as always. Blessings to you. But look, when it comes to crypto, I've always put out a warning. You can make your money in it, but don't do this. Don't set yourself in a trap. If you want to be a crypto millionaire, aim for 2 million. They're going to want half. And know that they're tracking everything. I said it before. Every time you move your crypto, it's taxable. Did you know that? Did you know that? You're going to turn a cheek to it, act like I ain't saying it. Every time you send crypto to someone, every time you pay for something with crypto, that's a taxable event. Did you know that? Every time. And did you claim that? Every single thing that's running through your head right now? Hell no, you didn't. So that's a trap for every single person out there that's hearing me. It's done been said. So they can come back later when they've got the full list of every trade you ever made and everything. Why and how? Well, hell, they got the owner of the biggest site sitting in prison. Tell me they ain't got all your transactions. Garbage. I've warned you this whole time. Crypto nothing but a trap. For years now. I got out of it specifically to warn you of it. Because I couldn't participate in it and warn you at the same time. Yeah. So I'm about to hop back in it and short the whole damn thing down because it's about to crash. Yeah. Anyhow, not financial advice. Anyhow, anything I do, I'll update you. I ever jump back in the game. I just told you how big of a setup it is. Be prepared though. If you're going to be in it, you're going to trade every single thing that you do. What I did is I long traded. You get something in long trade, hold it for over a year. The tax situation was different, and all that. But I majority. I lost my tail back when I was in it, because I never moved anything out, and I got a bunch stolen, massively. Thank you from Lebanon. Much love. Thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. It's just, I didn't trust none of that crap, man. Like, my money, I got my hand, like, you got to come and get this. It's like anybody else. Like, you got to come hail of bullets. You could try to come rob me. Same with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, but with money, you can hold it in your hand. This digital stuff you can't hold in your hand, man. They can rob you. They can shut down the whole exchange like they did, what was it? Start with a C. Cryptopia. And all these others, man. And just took everybody's money along with it. Like, get out of here. Like, robbery. Man, I'm just warning you, man. Just warning you. Just be smart, be sharp out there. Oh yeah, Coinbase, they're different. It was the on-ramp for everybody out there. Why do you think they flood the United States? Their main dude and everything. Come on. All right, so it leads to a CBDC. That's where this all leads to. That's the whole reason they put crypto out there is to get you warmed up the blockchain. All this stuff, get used to it, to like Bitcoin, like they've done. They're successful. They've done that. But people are not biting on the CBDC. And we've seen them reject it in the Inara in Africa. Well, Zimbabwe, they came with a little bit of a different attitude. They're like, okay, Well, then let's back our digital currency with gold and let's call it a token, not a CBDC. But it's still on blockchain and it's still tracking everything. So, so that you know, if they try to use this here, this trickaroo, if Trump or anyone else tries to come out and pull this trickaroo with anything, any form of currency in a digital format, it is trackable, traceable. Your privacy goes out the window. I don't care how they pitch it to you. But this gold-backed token is now called the GBDT, gold-backed digital token. And they mention right here about its resemblance to the central bank digital currency. Because no matter how you cut it, where you go with it here, it's tracked and traced. And that is where you cannot escape the beast. T-Rex, I didn't know he was in. I'm not going to answer that. I will say this, though. It looks like we're at a tip. You know what I always say about that? So, yeah. Moving on. Fauci. Look, when someone's telling you they're about to set shorts, what does that mean? Come on. If I was in the game, J6 political prisoner, the dude back here in the back behind Fauci. If you guys missed it, this kid comes out. I'm gonna play this clip. He's making faces about Fauci, like wah. He was prosecuted for J6. He went in and smoked weed inside one of the dude's things. He had prison time. They put him in prison and he's out. And he says that it was one of the funnest times of his life. Not really, but just like throwing it back at him. His name's Brandon Fellows. And there, I'm going to play this.
Dr. Fauci, can you please share with us the nature of the threats you have received since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, there have been everything from harassments by emails, texts, letters of myself, my wife, my 3 daughters. There have been credible death threats leading to the arrests of 2 individuals, and credible death threats means someone who clearly was on their way to kill me. And it's required my having protective services essentially all the time. It is very troublesome to me. It is much more troublesome because they've involved my wife and my 3 daughters.
At these moments, how do you feel? Keep your mic on.
Terrible.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do. Every time someone gets up and says I'm responsible for the death.
So this has gone viral. B Fellows here. He I mean, you know, when they say finding ways to protest silently in unique ways of doing things and raising awareness, I mean, this is one of those things. It just a lot of people thought it was comical. All right, on to some not so comical stuff here. In terms of this whole WHO talking about the flu and it coming from a bird in Mexico, and that the first person has died from it. This right here shows where they're going with all this, the next phase. I mean, you've got to see. And one of the most shocking things is what you're going to see right here. You thought you seen the last of some of these people. It's almost like a nightmare, right? Like when you see some of the stuff again. But guess what? Deborah Birx is back. And she's talking about this whole bird flu thing and that we must test every cow in America on a weekly basis. All right, dude, makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. All right, here we go.
That we're not testing to really see how many people have been exposed and got asymptomatically infected. We should be testing every cow weekly. You can do pooled PCR. We have the technology. The great thing about America is we're incredibly innovative, and we have the ability to have these breakthroughs. We could be pool testing every dairy worker. I do believe that there's undetected cases in humans because we're once again only tracking people with symptoms. When we did that with COVID, the virus spread throughout the Northeast undetected because it took a long time to get to the vulnerable individuals. But in the meantime, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were infected with asymptomatic or mild disease and never came to medical attention. We have to switch from symptoms to actually definitive laboratory testing.
You just heard she's back on the scene calling for our 40 million cows, what's left of them after they've been thrashed and killed in northern Texas with the fires, yeah, and all that, all this targeted stuff. And it's crazy because this dude, listen to this.
The current outbreak, for want of a better word, in America amongst cows is really concerning as well, and also talks to this issue of transmission. We have to understand in those cow settings, sheds, how H5N1 is transmitting, because it may be evolving into transmitting in different ways. Do the milking structures of cows create aerosols? Is it the environment which they're living in? Is it the transport system that is?
So, listen, I told you this before. You better get ready for the price of beef and chicken to go through the roof. You've had plenty of time, plenty of warnings, no excuses. FJB. Yes, you just heard it right here. This WHO chief scientist saying the cows are the main issue in this brand new bird flu virus is spreading. The cows are. You just heard Burke saying that every cow needs to be tested. Do you see where this is about to go? Do you see what is about to happen? Does anybody care? Do you like to eat meat? Do you like your burgers? Huh? What is it going to take? Where's the line in the sand for people to say enough is enough? Huh? Oh, you're just going to let them strip you of everything. We'll see. We'll see. Because it all comes down to states at this point. Truly. It's like some of these states, a lot of people are very passive and submissive. And these other states, people get up and ride and they ain't having it. They're giving an incentive. They're going in and paying and giving an incentive to farmers to start testing their cows. So now it's a paid incentive to do this with this technology that they rolled out there and everything we just went through. Dude, it's here. It's here, right on cue. Okay? Told you that this is going to be the form and the format of what was going to be rolled out next, and without a doubt, there's no way. There's no backpedaling. There's no going down a different avenue. There's no selecting a different disease or anything like it. It's this. It is this. It's prepped. It's primed. It's right in front of your face. Multiple different people right here telling you the cattle is targeted. It's next. Right now. It's up. The price of it is already at a record high right now. We're not even talking the price of chicken and what this is going to do, what's going to do to eggs, what's going to do all this. We're talking dairy, milk and eggs. Are you kidding me? Staples of survival. And meat from both. Dude. I'm telling you now, this is going to transform. You add this in, get this all going right now, and do what I told you earlier about no one being able to get cash out and causing a crisis. It's done. It's done. Man. I don't want to. I don't want to go into this. Like, I don't even want to go any further into this where this is going. So you don't have a choice. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's time people stand and face this thing. It ain't got to be with threats and a pitchfork. Ever. Never has been. It's about knowledge first and foremost, and getting with good people. The biggest thing that you can be doing right now is just sharing information and knowledge with your community, with your neighbors, with your friends, family, and just being factual, real about things. This comes down to a survival thing now, and you have to start taking this serious with this climate, because these people will go to some extremes. I don't think I have to go too far to make you realize me. Everybody lived through lockdowns. Everybody's seen what they'll do to us all. And here they are, back again. Dude, telling you, all right, shaking it off. On to the next one. Apparently, they're saying that Biden's immigration bill here in his order will normalize. While they try to say that it's going to stop a certain amount of people from coming in, it's going to normalize 2 million migrant entries yearly. So you just add that to it's tens of millions at this point. It's tens of millions at this point. They've got a 1,000,000-man army plus in here. And again, I don't know, what's the biggest threat at this point? The fact that they're about to roll out this other crap, or the fact that there's a 1,000,000-man plus army, millions in here, ready to come out the shadows on us? Huh? What's the bigger threat? I mean, it all starts happening at once. By design. So look at this. This is horrifying. Baltimore County releasing illegal alien sex offender, defying this DHS detainer request. This is what's happening left and right. This is one example of what's happening across the board with these criminals out there. Look at this. 20% of New York City hotels are now migrant shelters. 20% across the whole city of NYC. Now migrant shelters. And if you missed it, one of the reasons here is also, again, money and incentive. Why? Well, shout outs to the ones that were working up there at these hotels and didn't keep their mouth shut and told us what was going on. They say that those that get into the program get paid for every single room as if it's for full price. If for every night. Dude, this is tens of thousands of dollars they are rolling in legally, legitimately, just for jumping in this program. And they don't even have to be vacant. They don't even have to have migrants in every single one. They pay them for every single room, full pop at the negotiated price, constantly, over and over. Over and over. You wonder how this is being facilitated? There it is. There you go. I mean, we're sold out, dude. We're sold out. George Soros around the corner, selling us out more with treason, taking our own citizens, turning them against us, paying them protesters called chaos. Get out of here, dude. This place, it's about to blow. Just wait till they sentence Trump and they throw him in jail. They're going to do it for theatrics. Watch. He said he don't care. He'll do it. Like, dude, this whole show. Dude, the thing is you need to realize, you need to at least be able to deal with the mob because it's going to be created. Do you understand? Especially if you're around the city. There's going to be mobs. It's going to be relentless. And they're going to go to area. They're going to have a hard time in the hood. The hood, it's its own mobs. It's the gangs. It's going to be very interesting. Because the hoods are already rejecting the migrants in mass. And you got to stand up and salute them for it. Regardless. They're the only ones in the country actually making a physical stand, ejecting these people out of their neighborhoods. They are. It's crazy. But they are. They're the only ones who got the kahunas to do it. And they are doing it. I don't know. If you see them coming up by the van load into your neighborhood, what are you going to do? Have you? It gets dicey here. I'm not the only one who thinks this way, but I'll be zooming into a scope on some cats, checking them out. Like, what do we got here? I wouldn't be the only one in my neck of the woods. It'd be every other person around here. Imagine this is coming to your neighborhood. Right here. I want to introduce you guys to Texas's 10 most wanted criminal illegal migrants. Sure enough, a top 10. Texas has rolled this out. Hopefully they can catch them all. They have cash rewards here connected to this. Tipsters must provide information using one of the methods that they've got up here on the screen. Their number. It is anonymous. All tips are always anonymous, regardless of how they are submitted. You are provided with a tip number instead of using a name. Caller's anonymity is guaranteed by law, and you can earn cash rewards. Of course, this is dicey. But this is who they want, man. I would argue that, well, again, these are migrants. These aren't politicians and things like that. Okay. These are migrants. So let's look at them. And what are they wanted for? Well, right at the gate, number one here, look how they got a list of white, Hispanic, wanted for aggravated sexual assault of a child, indecency with the child by sexual contact. All these things, $5,000 reward. And that's out of Pantego. This is interesting. There was a gang affiliation on this dude of blasted. It's not on there no more. Because I went through it. He was the only one that had a gang affiliation. And all these dudes are wanted for sexual assault, basically. This guy right here is an exception. He's wanted for murder. So, and this dude down here was attempt to commit smuggling of persons is what he was convicted on. The rest were the sexual stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a look of the top 10 wanted. There's a whole lot more wanted. But that's the money they got up on them. For these criminals coming into our country. Mass murdering people and stuff like that. Raping, murdering. It's happening left and right. Alright, the political structure here is such a sham. I think you guys know this. New Jersey Democrats just elected a dead congressman. Yeah, Donald Payne Jr. just got elected. This is where Trump actually, they said this took a hit. When you go over here and you look, what did they do? They elected a man that died last month. So it's like, why didn't you get in there? Yeah. He won with a 99.9% vote, meaning everyone voted for him. So, a waste there. They say a special election will now be held for that position on July 16th. So that's going to be the answer. July 16th. That's going to be during the RNC. Trump might be in jail then. Yeah, Trump goes in on the 11th. July 11th. It's going to be, these are, whether you are voting for Trump or not, or political or not, you're going to want to pay attention to these things. It's going to, when you're going down the road and there's like hordes of people, mobs of people, like doing whatever for what, you might want to pay attention to what's been happening out here with this election and the political climate and all the people. If there's one thing that is going to get some Trumpers out there riled up for sure, it's to stone him in a cage. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, before I even get to that, Biden is falling apart. I don't even know if this dude can cross the finish line here without, look what they're saying here. He's in serious cognitive decline. You see it in every video clip. It's not hating on an individual or talking crap or anything like that. It's just the truth that he's in bad shape. This makes me believe that a dark horse is going to come running in. And the DNC is going to be the stage for this to happen. And oh boy, is it going to be chaotic. And who are they going to pick? Who are they going to send out? That's the question. I just don't see him holding up. I mean, he looks so frail, weak, out of it, all over the place. I see a dark horse coming in, and that's going to be the big thing. And they bring in a dark horse, they could stick you with that dark horse. I mean, come on. Said these things before. Well, look here. Dershowitz is saying, this is Alan Dershowitz. He thinks that Trump has a path to expedite his conviction to the U.S. Supreme Court. And this is all before the November election. So even if he is found guilty, he is found guilty. If he can't appeal or anything like that, and he gets sentenced, house arrest or anything, even to jail that day in July, it could just be months to go in and serve. A week. We don't know what they're about to do here, what they're about to throw. It's going to be crazy. I can almost guarantee, man, that they're going to put him in a cage. Why would they not? Why would they not? Come on now. Let's be real. Set your emotions aside and look at this from a perspective of control in the world stage. Why would they not stick him in a cage? They want these people to do something like to buck back. Stupid. With threats and all this other stuff, it's time to rise. Yes, don't let that fool you. Don't let it scare you. It doesn't mean coming in with violence and giving them a reason to take you down. But they're going to get a person or two that's on social media, in a Reddit forum or on Twitter somewhere, that calls for just that. And that's what they're looking for to try to take out. Yes, be smarter than that, okay? But also, do not sit there frozen, doing nothing. You need to rise and gather with your people. The moment that you don't do that, you're done. You've lost. You're done. We ain't taking no L's around here no more. Ain't happening. Nothing but positives here. Throughout this madness, we're gonna try to ride the high vibe. Majority of Americans here believe that the Trump trial was politically motivated. New poll says this. A lot of people see this globally. Leaders of other countries. And the whole world's watching. Yeah. And it's crazy because, they said it beforehand and it came true when he was convicted to be a felon. Which tonight they said that they were stripping him of his ability to carry a firearm. Tonight. His license out of New York. Because he's a convicted felon now. All this craziness, man. I told you last time, the Secret Services, they will continue to do their job through and through, full, forever, for him. But how do they do that if they stick him in a cell? Remember what happened to Epstein. Come on now. I mean, are they going to be allowed to sit outside of a cell to protect him in the hallway, at the facility, anything like that? This is the first of its kind like this, if it happens. But, he's attracted all these people, felons, that are just voting for him for that fact alone. And now he's got nuns swinging to his side. They're saying, all walks of life, even the founding member of the Black Panther Party, supporting Donald Trump, speaking that he's always been a friend of black people. He's known him since the 60s. And he said Trump, dude, and this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Yes, parts of this game are rigged and set up and all this other crap, and we know it. And the money game all runs back to the money masters. But when it comes to what individuals do out here, you would tell them by the fruits. This Black Panther leader says he gave them money to help them. He said he wasn't a racist. He helped us. That was in the 60s. Way back in the day. I'm going to let this man speak it himself. This is what his watch.
Welcome to the random site. I want you to meet someone who knew Donald Trump, and he's going to tell you about Donald Trump in his own words.
My name is David Hilliard, founding member of the Black Panther Party. I knew Trump when Trump was a college student in New York, and he supported the Black Panther Party. That's how I know Trump.
What kind of person do you think Donald Trump is?
Trump is a person who's a decent man, and he supported the Black Panther Party. That's what I just mentioned to you. He was someone who gave us money, and Trump was a decent guy.
Mm-hmm.
Your video. I told you.
When you say a decent guy,
I told you.
That's Face the Nation.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was one of two black. Trump.
Yes.
Trump's a friend of African Americans, and I knew Trump from the 1960s in New York, where he comes from, and he's a friend to African Americans.
Oh, and now when you say a friend to African American, what do you mean by friend?
I mean he's not a racist. He's not a racist, fascist white man. He supported black people. Owned every brownstone in a place called Harlem, New York.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm not going to play the whole piece, but I just want to play a little so you got the feeling. So, there's Black Panthers just saying, hey, even back then, with all the racial tension and all the stuff, as a college student, a wealthy Trump was throwing money and supporting them. Knowing that they were getting, they had their battles with the government left and right. The government came in and was COINTELPRO all over the place trying to take down the Black Panthers. And everything had happened with Malcolm X, everything going on. All the way up to Tupac Shakur. Um, the influence, man. It's with this government, the beast, murdering people. It's just crazy. To hear him say that Trump was one of our money men, helped him, So that's just crazy. Here, Donald Trump is now saying he's going to declassify. In a caveat here, he said this last time, and they went to push some of the JFK files, but it was like crap. They came out. It wasn't what everyone was hoping for. All the big stuff, the good stuff, with the CIA and all this other stuff. He's saying again he's going to declassify that. Also, everything on Epstein and on 911. All this stuff. And that is worth every single one of those topics are touchy, and that deserves all that. Like, if he's going to do that, when he goes to make this move, we'll have to dive into it. And, like, I won't even be able to talk about it on YouTube. It'd have to be like a Rumble thing to go into the deep detail of what happened, with everything, with all those. Yeah, unfortunately. It's just the way that it is out here. It's why I still go live every now and then Fridays on Rumble. Because it's the only place we can speak the truth about certain things, and you already know this. Yeah, well, this pro-Palestine thing is BLM 2.0. This is what you should be keeping your eyes on in terms of a wave of paid soldiers here. Now, this is just the protest type to cause chaos. But now we have invaders here that are mixed in. They could spring into action. And these dudes aren't here to protest. These dudes are here to cause harm. I'm telling you right now, 1,000%, these millions that are here, when they spring into action, some bad things are about to happen. It makes these pro-Palestinians look like Girl Scouts or something. I'm telling you, because it's that different. But that's not to take away from the fact that these pro-Palestinian groups here, they're about to amp it up, and they're warning it's about to spill out from the colleges and into the streets, like right now, and hit all these political events. And I told you this was going to happen. I told you. And they're even warning, saying that Chicago's not ready for this stuff. RNC, all of it. They're lacking police. They don't even have the cooperation of the mayor in Chicago, which is one of the freakiest things. It just tells you it's going to go ham. It's going to go nuts there. And, yeah, man. That's what's going to go down. It's coming up, man. If I can get coverage on that, I will. I've got to try to figure out a game plan. Gonna keep it pushing here. I told you about the price of everything going through the roof potentially. There's several different factors tied into that. And I told you, if we go to war, things are going to go through the roof. Well, we're already there, okay? And look, ships are already getting blown up left and right. Dude, this causes the price of shipping to go through the roof, which in turn, we all pay for, okay? People need to get their head around this, man. They're sinking ships out there left and right. We can't even protect these shipping lanes. We won't even send our vessels up into battle. Like, they're trying to drone strike them, but it's not good enough. They're shooting down our drones. They're taking over everything over here. Now they're hitting merchant ships with explosions. It happened again. What's this next one say? For a second time, Maersk lifts guidance as the Red Sea crisis sends container freight rates soaring. There you go. So you wonder how it's going to get bad real quick. It's already happening right here. They're shooting stuff that's hauling fuel and all types of other stuff. Container ships, anything you could think of. Any of your products that you got coming out of Asia or anywhere else. Anything. It now goes through the roof. I'm telling you, this is all by design. This never happened all of our life because we were the military might. We lived our lives up to this day. We lived our lives under the United States power around this planet, a military might that we no longer have. Without a shot being fired, a battleship being sunk. All by design, because we've been sold out. And I'm telling you, we're about to pay the price. If you don't have the supplies that you need, man, I've been telling you, you better get your house in order. Not just with the materials, but spiritually. What's Vladimir Putin saying? He says nothing is going to change after the U.S. elections. Pretty bold words. Even if we get Trump? What? Even if we get Trump? Trump? Huh? So people are saying, well, what does he say about that? Well, he says that they never had any special relations with Trump, whom the Democrats in 2016 accused him of being of a Russian agent and all this stuff. The Republican president had in fact introduced massive sanctions against Russia, and he exited the INF treaty. He did do all that. He says by prosecuting Trump in court, however, the Americans are burning themselves from the inside. They're burning it down to the ground. Here we go. He's telegraphing to you because he knows, man. It's a world stage. He's a major player and puppet in it. Come on. He says the entire world can see the persecution of Trump as just the abuse of the American judicial system for political purposes being weaponized. Okay? He said that there's a spike in Trump's popularity because of this. Because people are going to view this as the system could be used against them too. En masse. And the current administration is making one mistake after another. But he doesn't see anything changing. Yeah. That I guess only time would tell. That's all I could say at this point. Ukraine, and this is sad. The officers are saying that what recruits that they're getting now at the front lines are pathetically undertrained. Yep. And this is the latest harbinger of Ukraine's inevitable defeat right here. Remember what I told you? They don't even have like a group of young men in the country between 18 and 25 because they've all been killed. Combat commanders say the newly mobilized soldiers are arriving at the front line so poorly trained and clueless that they can't even disassemble their own weapons. That the rifle training that they do get in with some of these new recruits was limited to just 20 rounds per soldier. Now, some of this crap I don't believe because they're just begging for constant money in this black hole over here where we've been sending it. But these young men are getting slaughtered, man. I pray to the Most High this ends ASAP. It's madness, man. The footage that I see, that I always have to watch, that I won't dare share with you. Never. I mean, you can go watch it if you want. I follow some guys on Twitter that just do. You can't even share their posts. Some of the guys I follow. All you could do is just like it and watch. And some of the stuff that I sit there and see. from the front lines, from these ditches, from the front line trenches every day. It's just repeatedly sick. It's a repeat of just slaughter. Front line in HD, and it's disgusting. Like it's a video game. Dude's coming around a corner. Dude's coming around a corner face to face with other dudes and just over. Meat puppet. Thank you for 3 coffees, man. Yeah, the whole Trojan horse thing, I figure there. Well, like I always tell you guys, the left-right paradigm. This whole thing has been controlled. They've controlled both sides of this thing ever since World War I, World War II, and all through this World War III. When they control every Rothschild-controlled bank, they've got you. And I've said it a million times. They've controlled Russia since the Bolshevik Revolution. They've controlled China since the days of Mao. Henry Kissinger was the mentor and the handler of Xi Jinping. Do your research. Open your eyes. The world is a stage, man. Done. Everything else is a lie. As far as I see it out here. And yeah, they play both sides. They're masters at that illusion of choice, left-right paradigm. Hegelian dialect. Same old song and dance. Ukraine's just getting used, though, man. It's getting like prostituted. It is. It all started back when we went in and overthrew an elected government back during Obama's days. They sure did. I've reported on every step of it. So now Russia is calling the United States an enemy for the first time. You may be saying, what? Well, yeah. All these times they've been just saying, we are the hostile country, or we are the opponent, or all these strict terms. Now they're making a big deal out of they're calling us an enemy for the first time. And it's just like, dude, man. But they've got to ramp it up somehow to get people to realize that, look, nukes may fly. And I'm telling you, they're going to. I'm telling you. NATO preparing troop plan for potential Russia conflict. And what is this? This is opening up corridors. Okay? They're about to send 300,000 troops into the front lines, and a bunch of them are going to be American. This is in the wide open now. It's crazy. And they have a couple different corridors in ways that they can do this. But this is going to send our troops straight in there. Look, Germany urging the activation of almost 1 million reservists over this. Oh, yeah. It's there. They're all doing this. On the last stream, I told you about all this. All the different countries, France, the UK, all of them gearing up all their troops for this. Yeah. So, what's this one say? That they won't rule out strikes deeper inside of Russia. Well, they done did it. Tonight, they done did it. They done did it. Right here. Right here. New York Times confirms the first Ukraine strike on Russia with U.S. long-range missiles. It has begun. When people look back at when this whole thing escalated and how it really, right before it really popped off, these moments will not be overlooked. I'm telling you, we are in the craziest of times, dude. Russia just went into tactical nuclear drills. Snap tactical nuclear drills. And they're saying, yo, you just came in and took out our early warning defense system, our over-the-horizon warning system. This is why other guys are saying, dude, you better start to prepare for the unthinkable. It's about to go down. Because their only response from here is going to be to mushroom cloud somewhere. And this, dude, let me tell you. And shout outs to watchers that redid a little thing. I got a video on what I'm about to show you on my main YouTube channel. But over here in my notifications, I got this mushroom cloud that's on the Chinese rover pic. And I'm going to show it. I've mentioned it a bunch of times, but I want to show you. And hidden in the background on it. And you can see where the water is. You can see where everything's at. There is. I'm going to have to mute that. That's for dang sure. Here we go. Dang, man. Every time you take it back, I didn't mean to blow your ears out. I want you to see what I'm always talking about. This is that Chinese rover pic. Oh my gosh. It's going to do it every time now that I stretch it up, isn't it? Alright. Hopefully don't do it. Before I zoom in, before I hit play and I let it do its thing, I want to point out a couple things here. This is from the Chinese rover on display out in front of a bunch of people. And you can see the planet Earth behind it. You can't even really tell, but I did. I caught it. There is a mushroom cloud emanating from this area. And there is, right where my mouse is. There's a mushroom cloud there. For no reason. So, as these people are walking around this space center, and they see this brand new thing on display, with a billboard set up behind it, with the Earth behind it and everything, and it looks like it's on the moon. It's set up. People are walking around, checking it out. For whatever reason, China put in a mushroom cloud right here in the spot. That spot, as I covered in the video years ago, is in Ukraine. Right there next to Russia. Watch this. Watch this. Watch, he overlays it. Almost perfectly. See that mushroom cloud? Where is that spot? Well, he goes and he searches it right there and rolls it around. And as you can see, it is Ukraine. Right there. Boom. Sure is. Sure is. You see that? So you tell me why the Chinese telegraphed and hid in the open a mushroom cloud over Ukraine. Huh? Huh? Talk about having the eyes to see. They left one right there. Ike, thank you. And any others that I may have missed. Huh? 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 There you go. This has always been foretold. It's been telegraphed. I'm telling you. The whole thing with Crimea. The whole nine. I've got older videos maybe I need to refresh because it's that time. They're talking about this exact thing, this exact scenario, that this exact region would cause big war in World War III. Matter of fact, I think one of my most viewed videos is on that. I'm going to have to pull them up and go revisit them off my main channel, off Dabu77. Well, we're there. We are there where this could actually happen at any moment. And when it does, just remember that we're on top of it. We seen this coming before. Well, we seen the breadcrumbs they dropped. Let's put it that way. It's what we do. Mushroom cloud over that area. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the Kremlin is warning the U.S. of fatal consequences. As Biden green lights missile strikes on the Russian mainland, I just showed you and told you it's already begun. It's not begun here tonight. They just couldn't wait. Green lighted it on. So now all of a sudden, we've got to prepare for blowback. And guess what? Anyone could really do it. But guess who? By default, you can point the finger at Russia and say they did it. In China, tactical nukes will have smaller mushroom clouds. Hence the small one that we see. It's still a mushroom cloud, It's not going to be Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's not going to have a huge bit of radiation. It would blow back in Russia's face, right back into Moscow. They're not that stupid. They're going to use what they just drilled, tactical nukes. They can deploy dozens of them. They hit all these cities, Kiev, all these different places. Say some of them get knocked out of the sky. As long as a couple get through, they take out their main targets, they will mushroom cloud, for sure. They are tactical nukes. They just will not leave the radiation and stuff like Big Boy, like the old ones. They won't be as big and as grandiose. They're tactical. They will still level a town and wipe them out. And especially if you drop two. They volley dozens of these things. And dude, Russia's blind now. We just took out their over-the-horizon network. As the colonel said the other day, it was the stupidest move you could ever do. Russia doesn't have much time to respond, to counter here. Like, you either shoot back, you do something, or like, you're just sitting there, sitting duck. Like, this is crazy. We made that move, and now we're firing deeper into Russia. I'm telling you, man, the lights could go out any moment. Anything could happen. And it could just be blamed on them. Fatal consequences, man. Dude, this is reckless. Reckless. When you start talking tactical nukes and whole places getting wiped out, that's what Project Blackjack was always centered around. Multiple U.S. cities getting hit in one day. One time frame going off. It was an open plot, a known plot. They would have to be like Suitcase and how they got snuck in here and past their sensors. It's totally different than launching and striking areas. Sneaking in suitcase nukes and detonating them in certain places out of a van or something is different than launching missiles. And there's different things set up for those. But I don't know what's set up in Ukraine and what's not. What I do know is they've telegraphed a mushroom cloud. And we're ever so close to that moment. Again, I see Ukraine or Poland being the places that are going to get hit first in something like this. If Russia's going to strike right there in the area. Because when you look here, right outside Belarus, I mean, it's them coming, Poland, right here, I'm telling you, Poland, man, they've been key in every single major war, world war. This is no different. And when you look at the avenue of where American troops can enter, that's a key. That's a key one right there. It's a key one. If not, they got to go through Greece, Italy, all this other stuff, or the northern route, which I wouldn't put past them as well. They're probably going to go in on all fronts. Dude, this is heating up. We are encroaching on Russia. I would not take this lightly, man. This is nuts, and they're openly telling you it's happening right now on this world stage, man. So, I mean, Poland, do you have something to fear, as it says here? Does Poland fear that Ukraine might one day, get turned the other way against it? Well, I'd be fearing getting struck by tactical nukes right now if I was Poland. Anyone in Poland with this war popping off. If you're striking Russia, anything is fair game right now. I'm telling you, man, I can't put a stamp of more importance on that. And this last one that I've got lined up here. Biden is not rolling out boots on the ground if China invades Taiwan. And you might as well say it's game over, dude. We've entered World War when this happens. We just have. It's, and you're going to feel it one way or another. But I hope it does not happen in the coming months, these election months, but it probably will. They're about to throw everything at us, I think, in the kitchen sink. An overwhelming bit of events. It's going to be so overwhelming that the United States cannot recover from it. I'm telling you, a series of events about to go down. It's where we're at, guys. I hope you've prepped. I hope you have a plan. I know some of you have. Some of you take it serious. Some of you guys could do what we've done in the past. Have a grid down weekend. And it's where you practice grid down. With all your supplies. There's no cell phones and all this other stuff. There's no... You carry on like it's grid down. Almost like a lot of times it's with camping out. It's the best time to practice it. Even get out there with paintballs. Get out there with hunting skills. Do whatever kind of skills. As long as you're out there learning from one another and you're putting in the time to get ready for one of these events. You need to protect your properties, your homes. You need to be prepared to do it. You need to be prepared to do it with what you got right now. Because I'm telling you here, very soon, when you can't get no money out, you're not buying any more ammunition. There's no more waiting till last minute or later. There's no more buying anything if you can't get your money out of the bank. So that becomes a huge problem. Just this one event. One event. You can't get nothing. It's over. It's over at that point. It's over. You bow down and get their CBDC or it's over. And I'm telling you, a bunch of the people around here are going to fold. So all the true bloods out there, you're about to get tested again. And if you want to remain seen as being loyal to the Most High in the spirit in this end game, I'm telling you now, this is when you're going to have to go against and fight. Any one of you that submit to this beast system or anything, you ain't even a true blood in my eyes anymore. You failed. It's all about not going onto this beast system, bowing down in no aspect. So I'm warning you now. This is another wing of the battle, another battlefront, and get ready. Get ready. Those that bow down to the beast in these moments, you're gonna know it, because I'm telling you ahead of time. That's what you're gonna be doing. And you could sit there and say, "Oh, F W7, I gotta feed the family," and this. You say it. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you say. Cuss me as many times as you want. I'm sure you will, because you didn't listen. You had 10 years I told you to get ready for this, and you didn't listen. Okay, so it's not my fault. Shame on you. But cuss me all you want. That's on you, and you're gonna have to deal with the repercussions. For anyone out there that didn't listen, that just took this as entertainment, I know a bunch of you did listen. I know a bunch of you are ready. Oh, salutes. I hope I get to see you again before this whole thing goes down. I really do. I hope we can get another gathering together. Really would love to see you meet good people. There's nothing better than that. Salutes to all my riders out there. Yeah, I feel we need it, but I don't know if we're going to get it. Anyhow, we'll take us out of here tonight on some music, as always. I look to be back Friday night. I don't know where I'm going to be live at. I may go live with Rumble added, and at the end of the stream, like right now, I may end the YouTube stream and just go all Rumble at the end to say some things, some exclusive things that I'm going to have to get out there on Friday night show. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, man. Taking us out of here, man. Much love to everybody. We're in them times, man. I get the house in order and I'd get the last minute stuff ready. All the old Mountain House freeze-dried stuff I'd clear out. I'd replenish. I'd get fresh seeds. I'd do it all. Now, it's that time. As always, much love and God bless. God willing, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Ike. Uncommon News. Eon sliding in with 3 coffees. Thank you, Eon. Thank you, Colleen. Free energy. Much love to all you guys. Meat Puppet. Miss Moke. Lead Dispenser. Low Rider. J Bear. Much love to all y'all. 11-11, baby. Much love.